Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video we have a A21s LCD screen from Aliexpress, and this cost me $22. Now we'll just show you my old screen. You can see there it's smashed here and here, and it all went blurry. There was no fixing it, so I had to buy myself a new one, and the cheapest option was to buy one from Aliexpress, and it came in less than 2 weeks, so pretty good delivery time. It's well packaged, as you can see. Just going to open it up. As you can see, they sent us some little tools, which is great. I will use them. And the screen itself, hopefully, will be as it should. Yeah, that is an A21s LCD screen. Now this video is a how-to video, and it's basically, showing you how to replace your LCD screen on your Samsung A21s. Now, admittedly, you're not going to see me disassembling it, because I already did that, except with the exception of this battery, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you will see me assemble it in exactly the reverse order that I disassembled it. So you'll basically just do what I do, but backwards, if that makes sense. But I'll link below anyway to a video that does it, that shows you the disassembly from beginning to end, and it's basically exactly the same as what I'm doing, just in reverse. So yeah, a little bit about the battery. No, I've not done this yet because I'm waiting for the liquid to come. You need some isopropyl liquid to remove the battery from the screen, because it's glued down. Now, you really don't want to be trying to pull this out, because you'll just damage the battery. You'll never get it out without damaging that battery. So you must use the isopropyl liquid. And you'll get a little syringe, and this gap here, you'll just squirt some in that gap there all along. Then you'll hold the phone like this, and then the alcohol will work its way down behind the battery, eating away at the glue, until eventually you can just take the battery out. Here's the isopropyl that we'll be using. As you can see, it's 99.9% pure. I'll put a link to that in the description below, but honestly, you'll be able to buy that from most places, Amazon, eBay, etc. And we're going to be using a pipette, just to put droplets along the back of the battery. You can use a syringe, but I feel like there's more control with a pipette. When putting the battery into the new screen, you'll need some double-sided tape. This is to ensure that the battery stays in place and doesn't rattle around once you put it back together. You definitely don't want that to happen. I mean, you can damage wires, etc. Okay, so I don't know the names of these parts, but as you can see, there's very few parts that you'll need to take out. This makes it quite a simple task. So we've got the back here, we've got all the internal bits, we have the middle section, I suppose you'll call that, and then we have the new screen, as you can see. Now, something about the new screen, you'll notice this here, that there, and this here. These need removing. They've got little tabs on them that allow you to remove them. This, once you've removed this tab, this green tab, this will stick down there, and if you look on the old one, you can see that it's stuck down, as will that be. So yeah, just take those off before you start assembling. There'll be a link to this kit down below. I suggest you get one. It'll come in really handy for things like this. Something I should mention, this stuff, you don't want to be breathing this in. or drinking it or getting it in your eyes or anything like that. You just want to use it for this purpose and this purpose alone, and then get rid of it as soon as possible. Okay, so I hope you can see what I'm doing. Now don't be too nervous about using this. It won't damage your battery, and it doesn't really matter about the screen, so whether or not it would damage it anyway, I'm not so sure. But just get a little bit in our pipette. Actually, what we'll do is get ourselves a bit of tissue underneath there to catch any excess. Try and do it that way for you. I hope you can see that. I'm just gonna squeeze that in there, like so. I'm just giving it a few seconds to do its thing, whatever. And it should be working its way down. The problem with alcohol is it tends to dry or evaporate, should I say, quite quickly, so you'll just spray the battery, get yourself a little bit more, and just squirt some more down there. You shouldn't need an awful lot. As you can see, it's coming out near the bottom there. Probably put too much in there actually, but it's doing its thing. As you can see, I can tell it's working because I couldn't get underneath the battery this much. Try a different tool. Let's get this tool in there. There we go. Yes, that's definitely done its thing. And it should, with a little bit of effort, there we go. And that's come away, which is perfect. As you can see, it's dissolved the glue. Can you see that? It's dissolved all that glue. Just take that away, and we'll place that battery straight onto the tissue. There we go. And just give it an overall wipe, and now we'll dispose of this, throw it away, we don't need it, and we'll dispose of this. So we've got some bits of tape left on the battery, so all you have to do is just peel away at it. Most of it will come off, but don't worry if it doesn't all come off. Our double-sided tape will stick to it anyway. So before we do anything else, you just want to take on your screen, pull this screen tab off, either with tweezers or just your fingers, and then you'll need to stick this down. Just make sure we've got it right. Yep, there we go. Pull the other tabs off while you're there. And now we can proceed. Now you do have a screen protector, but you want to leave that on there until we're done. Okay, so first things first, we want to get the battery, we want to get it inside the screen, and for that we will need our double-sided tape. Just cut yourself
square, no wider than the battery.
You'll not need a lot, as you can see. Just going to take the other side off of the tape. And we're just going to get the foam this way up, and you're just going to place the battery in there like that. Just press it down a bit, and we have a battery that's now placed snugly inside our screen. Right, next we will need, should organise myself better really, But next we will need this part, and this goes in here. Now there's a little bit of glue on the back of that, and I'm hoping that's enough to keep it in place. Next we need this piece, you can see that, and that goes right here. So you can see where we just put the other one, the other part there. This one goes here. You can see that. And it goes in like this. Just press it in there. You don't have to press hard. Hopefully you can see that clearly. You don't need to press hard, like I say. So that's our first two parts in there, or three parts if we include the battery. Okay, so the next piece will be, or the next part should I say, will be this part. Now remember, all you're doing is following this in reverse order. Now this is our charging port, as you can see here, and I'll just place that, as you can see. Just place that there. It might need to be clicked into place. I don't remember if I've done it before, but it doesn't. So you basically just place that there. And so we need just 3 screws for this part. I'll just move that out of the way. So the next part we need to put back on is this part that has the cameras on, both back and front. Be careful with this camera, you could quite easily pull that off by accident. And this goes back up here. Like so, as you see, sits in nice and snug. We'll screw that back down. Now, as you just saw, I've screwed that black screw into there. These don't need screws until we get the middle part of the phone, the frame back on. But this black screw needs to be placed back in there before we do that. Next, we'll want to put the cable back on. If we, as you can see, I hope you can see this, we have what I'm going to call a plug here and a plug here, or a socket, whichever way, and we have to run the wire. We have to plug it in here, and we have to run the wire down the side of the battery in this recess to the next socket or plug, whatever, and then we'll clip it onto there as well. It couldn't be simpler really, this. Yeah, that's not too clever. Now, if I was you, I would use some sort of spatula or something just to press, just line it up, make sure you've got it right, and then press it onto there using a plastic spatula or some tool. And then just use your fingers or fingernail to push the wire into that recess, and take the other end, making a mess there. In fact, we'll just put the other end on first. probably heard that clip in. Take that wire and we'll push it into that gap there. Just make sure that one is indeed on there, and that's our wire back in. As you can see, not too difficult. If you want, you can use your fingernail just to make sure that they are actually on there solidly. So the next step, we want our main cable back on there. You have a double-ended side and a single side. The single side goes at the top of the battery here. The double side slots into those two there. So that's what we're going to do. It's going to be simpler really. You just press on there gently, and it will find its way back in to there, like so. Just make sure you can see where it was in there. It can be a little bit finicky, but it's not too difficult. So we have our main cable on there now. Okay, so honest mistake that I've made there is that before you put this on, don't have those two screws in there that I put in there earlier. I wrongly thought that they should have gone on there, but they go on after the frame. Also, you'll need to plug the battery in. You can see that in there. You can see that there. Just press that into there, nice and gently. Job's done. And then we put our frame back on. It should just clip straight into place. Just press around all the sides. Like so. That's that done. Nice and easy. And now we'll place all the screws back in there. Just 3 more to go. I've actually lost one, so that hole there is just going to have to do without. Probably the most tricky part of all this will be getting the fingerprint cable, which is here, back into that socket. I'll just turn it that way up. The best way to do that would be to get yourself a spatula, either a plastic one or whichever you've got, and you need to get level down with it. And you're not going to be able to see this, but you'll need to just hover over the cable, over the socket, and press it down using your spatula. If you need to bend the back a little bit, then do so. It's not going to damage it as long as you're not doing it too. Actually, let's get our finger in there. There we go. I might have to do that with my finger actually. Now we just need to press the back of our case back on to the phone. Now, when we pull the back off, we will have pulled off a lot of glue, and you may have thrown away that glue, or it may have just whatever, you know, became non-sticky, which is what's happening with some of mine inside here. Now you can buy excuse me, you can buy ready-made strips, sticky strips made for specific phones, and I couldn't find one for this phone, so I'm just not going to bother. I have a case anyway that I put on there, so I'm not really too bothered about the back. But if you were, I suggest when you first take the phone apart that you keep all those little sticky bits that's around the edge of the inside of your back cover. Now, this is the moment of truth. I've waited, what, 2 weeks, paid $22, spent considerable effort replacing the screen. Sorry, just excuse me there. I haven't put my SIM cards and stuff in here, but we're not bothered with that right now actually. So yeah, we're just going to power it on, see what happens. Holding the power on button, there's a vibration, and as you can see, it's working. I am super happy about that because I have missed my phone. Now this phone isn't an expensive phone. It's a phone from the lower end of the market, but I never buy expensive phones because of this reason. I tend to break them. But as you can see, that was pretty easy to put back together. I know you didn't see me build it. So yeah, as you can see, looks as it should. Nice vibrant colours. I have dark mode on, if you're wondering why the Google search bar is that colour. But yeah, as you can see, nice colourful apps, just like they should be. And it works, as you can see, really well. It's very, just like the original screen. No different at all. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope the video was helpful to you. Bye.